Hashtag Real Race Talk. It's the Revved Up Sports Show talking local, regional, and national action. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
All right, everybody, welcome to the world-famous show that started it all on Monday nights. World famous, all over the world, thanks to the internet and World Wide Web and various podcasts. This is indeed the Revved Up Sports Show, coming to you live from Texas. Showtime, Bobby Chaffee, that'd be me right here. The Iceman, Rodney Rodriguez, that's that man right there.
Hi, everybody.
And indeed, yes, you can find us on any major podcasting platform. All you have to do is just search Revved Up Sports Show. Now, if you just do Revved Up, there's some other Revved Up stuff there, but look for Revved Up Sports Show on all your major platform podcast providers.
That's right, and you get audio, you get video, you get everything each and every Monday right here, and you can just kind of take it with you each and every week as you go into your week. And we have a great show tonight coming up here in just a little bit. Probably about 12, 13 minutes out. Phil Whipple is going to join us, and we will have the 2023 Touring Driver of the Year, Texas Touring Driver of the Year. We'll have that coming up a little bit later at 7:10 Central. Matt Preer is going to join us. That's a very talented dude that travels the country doing different races. And then G3. Gilbert Bettis III will be a part of the program a little bit later on. We were really excited to have him aboard because we thought that we were going to be getting ready for the Clash. However, that
didn't
not
work out too well,
going to be the case. Yeah, that's a mess. That's a mess. And it's only going to get worse. I mean, that
it is supposed to rain a couple more days. So.
Yeah, everything that
this weekend, though, this weekend looks great, unfortunately.
Oh, man, that's a whole thing. I mean, I know a lot of that is, I talk to a lot of people, and it's like, well, why'd they call that? I mean, you gotta think about it. I mean, they got to pump that place out. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing that you have to do right there is to be able to get all of that out of there, and then hopefully you don't get any more. And when you get into a situation like that, that's where when the track is that saturated, man, any little bit of precipitation is gonna jack up everything that you're trying to do. So hopefully, moving forward, that's going to be something to where they'll be able to, 2024 hopefully is going to be better. We would love your thoughts. Hey, there's our friend right there. Christine Molise checking in from El Valle.
That's right. And, new business cards and all. New signs.
Look at that right there.
Moving up in the world.
Realtor
high-tech realtor
extraordinaire. Look at that, man. So she's checking in as well. We would love your comments as well throughout the night. And we do remind you because we get a lot of folks that check in, and it's like different ways that I can get the program. I mean, right there. There's a QR code. It's going to take you straight to the Russ website. You can download the website. Everything is right there. And come on, man. All you got to do is hit that QR code. We'll leave it up there from time to time to where you just take a little picture right there. Take a little picture, as they say, and you'll be all set and ready to go. Diving in here. So, man, The shitty part is because I was all fired up to dive in here and start talking about the South Texas Championship, because that's obviously the thing that I thought was going to be a big deal as we dove into this, because now we've got some pretty tight point battles that are going on right there, but now that's kind of all for naught. So I guess we got to figure out a different way to dive into this thing, because we obviously can't dive into that, I guess.
Well, I mean, the part about it, the water inside the track is one problem, but if you see some of the pictures there of turns 3 and 4 where it's already rutted out, with just where some of the water has come running through there, that's the part that they can't prepare for, since you've got to get all those cars ready in 4 days. So I mean, it's an unfortunate deal. Mother Nature cost us a lot of races there at Texana this year. I think it was 3 or 4 at the beginning of the year, and 3 or 4, if not maybe 5, if you count the Clash, to close out the year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really not. I mean, it's not good. I mean, it's not good for the racers. It rained out their championship night. So, I mean, not good at all. But then again, you got to give Cord and them credit, because they were still. I mean, they were trying to get ready to the last minute. So, that's definitely something we should got Cord on to talk about the Clash. But I think he's a little heartbroken to talk tonight.
I was actually going to call him yesterday and try to get him on tonight to preview all this, but I didn't know how bad the weather was there. I know that here we had, I'm north of Austin. I knew that we had, steady rain. I knew that we had some shit that was going on. Didn't think it was near as bad as it was down there. But obviously it was. But here's the other thing to think about. So I did see
late in the season that you do the shootout, then you basically get a couple of weeks off for Christmas, and then boom, then that arena series with the go-karts and the 600 sprints and those, the next generation racers down there, that kicks off usually right around the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If not on Super Bowl Sunday, which is odd for date to start. But I mean, I think that, that the season's over when you get to the shootout there in Corpus Christi. And then, of course, the season begins every year. What season kicks off? Usually kicks off February, icebreaker, maybe.
Well, you got January. You've got
a couple enduros here and there.
Yeah, kind of depends on when you really kick that thing off. It honestly never stops. The whole thing is it never stops. That's a whole thing, kind of with stock car, with the pavement stuff. It does kind of stop at one point, but with dirt and everything, because you got the arena series. They're going with the carts and all of that. It really never stops. So that's going to be something that's going to be happening right there. And I do invite you all, because we have, from time to time, we have thrown out right there, revvedupsportshow@gmail.com. That there's a lot of different ways you can message Bobby and I on Twitter, on Twix, on X, whatever you want to call it, and give us your show ideas. But I got a really interesting email. I think it was on late Saturday night on revvedupsportshow@gmail.com. And that email said that before the end of the year, and again, I'm not going to say anything that you send me or Bobby, it's in confidence. It's in confidence.
Just like normal journalism, our sources will not be revealed except to each other.
Well, and then a lot of times not even that.
A lot of times when you see something breaking news, that's usually the first take, because that's the first time I've heard about it.
But I had somebody that emailed me at revvedupsportshow@gmail.com, and they were like, hey, here's what I would like to see you guys do before the end of the year. Take the stories that we had, go to the archives from the first part of the year. March, and correlate them to how the season ended.
So that's a lot of editing, though.
No. Man, fuck that. I ain't editing shit. We can just take the story and say, hey, back in March, blah, 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 blah. But when it ended, here's what happened. I kind of like that.
It's not a bad idea.
A
lot of show prep, but
no, man, it ain't that hard, man. All we got to do is just kind of throw the idea out, and I think that it'll kind of take care of itself. To be honest with you,
yeah. Well, I think it could.
Well, and I can tell you one thing that will definitely be in that collection is the success that we saw in Houston. And I was actually going back and I found something that you and Rick Polero did. And I want to challenge all the Texas asphalt racers that, I mean, we've heard excuse after excuse. And guys, don't come at me. I've never said that I was going to be a full-time racer. I got other shit to do. I got to do this. I've got to do dirty air. There are different things that I have to do. I have never said, because every time that I challenge the asphalt racers, they're like, why aren't you racing? Man, I ain't fucking racing forever. Right?
Not on pavement.
Well, once a year on dirt.
Yes.
Once a year on dirt. But Rick Polero talked to Bobby in Area 51 Victory Lane. And for all the folks that are thinking about racing next year, let's listen to the Zippy Hippie.
Tons of energy in the air tonight. The pits were packed. The grandstands were full. There's a lot of energy. A lot of people have attested to that being the fact that we got the 2024 schedule released earlier this week. And I know you don't always commit to running the full season, but how crucial was that to have that schedule released early to get a good momentum to end 2023?
I think it was a dynamite decision, and I think it was very bold, but I think, here it is, guys, and a lot of times it is great to work with other racetracks at some point, but Owen has done, oh man, we wouldn't even have, I don't even know if we'd have asphalt racing if it wasn't for Owen and Dean Baker. But Owen knows how to do this, right? He's doing the dirt stuff. I've been to all his tracks and he's had success everywhere he's gone. And I'm glad he's here. And I think it was a bold move, but I think it was the right move. Absolutely. That way guys can start building stuff. Yeah, I think maybe even some of the crowd here, not just because it was the last race, but maybe in preparation, seeing that schedule and saying, hey, we're going to get going for next year.
There you go. A big kind of drop of the hammer right there from Rick Polero that he's telling guys to get your shit together. I mean, come on out. That schedule is there. I know that, and we are very excited here on Revved Up that we know that a lot of schedules are going to drop right here. So, you need to pay attention because it's about to get real interesting. If you're going to start planning your racing in 2024, it's all going to be right here. This is where you're going to figure out where it's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely lots of behind the scenes work to get the promoters to trust us with their schedule releases. And we've already got a couple, not necessarily in a bag, but we definitely got a couple of promoters that are on board in terms of releasing their schedule with us. And we're happy they choose the medium of this particular radio show as their medium of choice to release their schedules. Yeah.
So if you're just checking in, the class 2023 has been canceled due to, what a mess. You have a mess out there happening in Edna. That weather's only going to continue. So unfortunately, that's going to be the end of anything that we hoped was going to happen right there. But if you're a South Texas racer, there's your next chance right there, that South Texas shootout. And now with the modifieds being added to that, I think that's something that's going to be really, really cool there as you get into that final weekend coming up of stuff happening right after Snowball. I know a lot of folks are going to be making their way out to Pensacola, but you can come back and head there. And I really do like the idea there. I really am contemplating that. I do, because there have been so many great storylines moving into this. I really do want to do that idea, where it was and where it wound up. I really like that a lot. It's dumb shit like that drives me excited.
Well, there's certain, not that we want to give away some of the topics, but there's certain stuff about land purchases and track purchases that were really a big story at the beginning of the year. Turned out to be not so big.
Yeah, and a lot of that is, as we got to the end of the year, there was a lot of question what's going to happen with Cotton Bowl Speedway, and as far as I know, and I have it on pretty good confidence, that whole deal has gone by the wayside. That is not something that's going to be happening, and I saw a lot of folks were pretty upset that perhaps it was going to be. That maybe Waco, what was going to happen there with Heart of Texas Speedway. I saw that. And then this week, I see this.
Yeah.
Seems to me like things are going to be pretty good happening there in Heart of Texas Speedway.
Yeah. I mean, the Fall Classic, that's another one that got Mother Nature got was the Fall Classic. So Texana's not alone in their hurt wallet. I guess actually not as bad as it could have been if they actually would have raced and then it got canceled. But
well, and I'm here to tell you, I think in my opinion, the crappiest part for me with Texana is the fact that you had the storm that came through. I mean, so that was something that really jacked some stuff up. You had the press box, everything that happened right there. These guys worked their asses off to get this place back in shape, and then boom.
Yeah, and then it rained again right before the biggest race.
That's the worst part. I'm just glad that from everything that I saw, it's not a situation to where you're having to go in there and replace infrastructure that was all screwed up like it was from the last storm. So, I mean, it sucks. But here's the other thing that I go back and think about, and I've seen some conversation to where I've seen a little bit of scuttlebutt to where maybe Devil's Bowl is not done. And you guys feel free to you guys feel free to chat with us. We can sit right there and tell you what's going on, and boom, there you go, right there. Marianne Nauman checking in. She is on the YouTube or the Facebook feed, I guess it is, and 2024. So if there was any question what's going to happen with Cotton Bowl Speedway, I think there's your answer right there, where she is telling you guys be ready to go because the shit's going to be real at Cotton Bowl. But it, with the Devil's Bowl thing, I know who the land was sold to, and I'm not sure what their plan is or what their timeline, I guess, really is to what they're going to be doing right there. So that's something that will continue to follow.
Story to follow there towards the end of the off season.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's again, that's one of those stories. If we do that 2024 recap to where we started to where we ended up, that's going to be one right there, because I don't think we saw that one coming.
No,
I don't think we saw that one coming.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. Let's go to the hotline, and it is a monumental. I mean, each and every time that we get this dude on, I mean, a lot of times we get him on here just for general bullshit, just to sit here and chew the fat, because this is one of our favorite dudes. I mean, this is a guy that goes out there and takes care of business, and so excited to welcome in, because now, tonight, November 13th, 2023, we are about to find out who the touring driver of the year around these parts is going to be. It is our man, Phil Whipple. We'll get to that part here in just a little bit, but let's talk to our man. Phil, how we doing, sir?
We're doing very well. Good evening, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Chaffee. Very nice to be back with you.
So, Phil, the question that I have for you, dude, is that do you really, like, when we get like a quarter inch of ice on the ground, this whole area shuts down. Now, we know you come to love our racing from all the coverage that you do from up north in the great Northwest up there, or great Northeast. What do you think about, like, we're talking about getting into the 40s and everybody was grabbing jackets saying it was too cold a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I know you guys actually. It's weird that you guys get the cold.
Bill, I do want to ask you before we start diving into stuff, and obviously we've got business at hand to talk about tonight. But Phil, I know you and we kind of had a couple of messages back and forth. I know that it was New Hampshire Hall of Fame weekend and all that, man. But God damn it, I think you and I, probably you more than me. But man, one of our favorite people is not in a good place, and damn it. Ken Squire, God damn it. I just love that guy so much. He has influenced my career in a lot of different ways. I mean, kind of what's the thought with all of that happening there?
Whoa, I knew you were going to ask. He was instrumental in the formation of what we know as today as the Motor Racing Network. Greats like Mike Joy, who's now at the top of his field in TV and stuff, got their start with that deal. He just influenced so many, got so much shit going. Ken did so much on the national deal. He was flying back and forth from Vermont and had a place in Atlanta. I think a condo at Atlanta Motor Speedway for a lot of years, doing all this stuff with CBS, and just an incredible guy. And then all what he did for us here in the Northeast, my Lord, he was instrumental working with Bob Baer at Loudon. Of course, he built the Thunder Road International Speed, the famed Thunder Road International Speedway high atop Quarry Hill in Barrie, Vermont, and opened it in 1960 and had legendary drivers and winners there and promoted it beyond what you'd ever expect the short track little paved oval in New England to ever be promoted, because he was Ken Squire, and he was smart enough to hire the late great Tom Curley, who was like, legendary short track promoter, just took short track racing promotion to new heights. And so what a dynamic duo. I'll never forget it as long as I live. The dynamic duo of Ken Squire and Tom Curley. And of course, look at the Moody, how far he came after, look at all the enjoy, as I say, all the guys that got influenced by Ken. Hell, when I step up to a microphone like you, Rodney, you thinking sometimes of what Ken had said in the past, and a good afternoon, everyone. I know I probably said too many things that Ken would say, but damn it, he's always been my hero and always will be. And to read the fact that he might be in his last days shakes me to the core, Rodney. I'm glad you asked. Shakes me to the absolute core.
Same.
Well, whenever you have a section of a Hall of Fame named after you, with the sport you tried to promote for a long time, that's when you know that you're a special individual and deserve all the recognition you can get for a job well done over the course of a career. So that Squire Hall there at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, named for Ken Squire and Barney Hall. They got a lot of cool stuff in there if you're a broadcast guy like we are. So lots of cool stuff for the NASCAR Hall of Fame in the name of Ken Squire. So, he's still with us for now, but best wishes to his family and everybody else for that deal.
Oh yeah, Bobby, well said, my friend. We're all thinking of of the family who had a very difficult recent months. His most recent deal was a bad fall in which he fractured his pelvis, and that man at his age and all the other stuff he did didn't need that. So that's right. That's where we are, and I will pray for the family and friends and stuff in these final difficult days. And when the news comes, Kenny and Debbie has already asked me where in Heckens, Vermont, or Charlotte, or wherever they're ever going to hold this gathering, and it's never going to hold wherever they choose. It's never going to contain all the dignitaries and racing big wheels that are going to want to be there and speak. You know, Mike Heldon's going to probably speak, and Richard Petty will speak, and all these big Hale Yarborough. I mean, all these people are going to say, "Oh my God, Ken did so much for me," that it'll be hard to really even contain it. They may have to have a big public thing down in the Charlotte area and then a more private ceremony up in Vermont afterwards or something. I suspect they may be dual deals because of Ken, who he was and stuff. He was Mr. Vermont, you know, all the radio industry. WDEV founded all that shit. This is going to have a big impact. I'm speaking like he's getting ready to go, and unfortunately he is, but it's going to have a big impact in a lot of industries, not just our racing industry.
You know, Phil, isn't it ironic? And again, we'll get to business at hand, but I do want to ask you about this while I get to talk to you. You know, with Ken Squire, I mean, you talked about Dave Moody. I mean, so many of those guys up there that they've been so instrumental. A lot of folks look at them and it's like, well, they were broadcasters, they were announcers, they're guys on the radio, whatever. Those guys have been so influential in operating racetracks. Same thing with Jackie Arute. I mean, that's a dude right there where folks think about Jackie Arute and it's like, wow, you know, that's a guy that did whatever. But man, he operated a racetrack for so fucking long. I mean, isn't that the thing about where when you really look at the grassroots thing of what we do, and the more that I learn, thanks so much to you, is up there up north, that's really where all of that stuff really started being based.
It is, because he was as much of a promoter as he was an announcer. You could never really call any of those guys, even us on the level that we're at. We're really not just we're kind of promoters of the sport, especially with the optimism and the enthusiasm / passion that the three of us particularly happen to have. We're sort of promoters of the sport as well. If we turn sour on the sport's going to suffer. If I write a nasty thing, I'm going to get a phone call. Somebody's going to say, "Hey, man, you got a lot of followers. Well, you can't write stuff like that." And if you interview somebody and it goes south and they start badmouthing stuff, you can bet there'll be negative feedback on that too. So we need to kind of keep the optimism up here, and we sort of can be positive promoters and almost partners with the guys who are working hard to keep this thing moving forward. And I kind of think we should be. So, yeah, man, that guy's will was way more than that. He was an idea man. You will read in the coming weeks, months, and whatever. You'll read all about it, and you probably saw it on the video that I sent you, Ruddy. He was an idea man. That guy was willing to get on the microphone. He had ideas behind the scenes. Hey, we could try this at the track, or we should be doing this. Interview these people and stuff. I think he was the guy that came up with the Great American Race and the in-car camera and all this stuff. He kept coming out ideas on how to present the product to consumers and hook people to fans and hook them more, the enthusiasts. And man, it was a huge success. And now I think a lot of things that he came up with, they continue to emanate and replicate today. So yeah, I will move on, brother. But yeah, there probably will never be in our lifetimes a more influential individual on the motorsports industry as a whole.
Phil, so much of what I've learned about Ken Squire, I mean, just learning about him, you know, with what he's done up there, and then with the influence with CBS and all of that, and you know, with in-car cameras like you're talking about right there, the man that really got them to take a gamble right there. He goes to the World's Strongest Man competition in 1976, and he comes all these ideas and let's implement this into stock car racing, man. How great is that, dude? That's fucking genius. There is no other way to put that.
No, it isn't. He had this natural creativity, Rodney, and he knew how to implement it, I guess. So like I said, an idea man. They claim a lot of Humpy Wheeler's ideas that he implemented and really became popularized in Charlotte and stuff. He either bounced off of Kenley, or Kenley kind of helped him create them behind the scenes, because they were both very sharp at sitting down with a freaking martini or napkins and a little pen and coming up with all this shit that just chew people. And, you know, what they call Humpy, they call him the P.T. Barnum of motor racing, didn't they? Almost like he has garbage trucks jumping a big ramp over motorcycles or something as a part of the pre-race ceremony. Those guys just will try anything and do stuff. And for years and years, Kenley had the Porta Potty Grand Prix every year at Thunder Road. I think they've carried it forward. They still do it, whereas you get the golden plunger, the fastest hitter across the line gets the golden plunger. So, the annual Porta Potty Grand Prix. I can still hear him on the microphone now. Now I'm going to be thinking about hearing Ken on the microphone for like a long time probably. But yeah, it's it's tragic. It sucks that we're going to lose the great one. I'll call him the greatest, one of the greatest Vermonters that ever lived, next to maybe Calvin Coolidge or something. But Kenley is awesome. I won't say what. I'll say it is awesome, and I'll be praying for him too. But man, tonight we have the opportunity, like you said, Mr. Rodriguez, we have an opportunity to ring the bell once again. And isn't it nice to recognize yet another short track racer out of the state of Texas who had a successful 2023 season?
That's right, my man. All right, lay it on us, Phil. I tell you, man, the work that you do with all of this stuff, I mean, it's so in depth. There's a lot of things to look at with this. I mean, a lot of folks, right, Bobby? You can folks can look at this and it's like, okay, well, I'll just say Joe Blow is the driver of the year. Well, shit, it's not quite that easy.
No, it's not quite that easy, and we thank Phil for all of and his committee for all that they do. Lord knows it take Rodney and myself a lifetime to try to come up with some of these people to pick for the driver of the year and the touring driver of the year. So we thanks Phil for taking that I don't want to call it a burden, taking that task on for the recognition of the drivers and teams.
Well, you're very, very welcome, Bobby. I'm more than delighted to do it each and every year. I look forward to doing it for many years to come because I think it's essential. You know, this year, this recipient, and for our 2023 Texas Short Track Driver of the Year on the touring side, presented by Revved Up Sports and RaceOnTexas.com, I think this recipient has forced me and my boys on this group of people to add yet another layer to analyze because of what he does for the sport and what he has done and what he continues to do for the sport and to make other people go fast. And so now I'm looking at that. This recipient of this deal, and I'm going to tell you who it is, he not only had a stellar season behind the wheel, but he went up, but what he did for his customers and what he did with his business was just outstanding too. So again, for 2023, one driver in the Touring Series category had a truly stellar season. In races through late October, Jeffrey Abbey of Boyd earned an impressive 10 wins, 30 top 5, and 39 top 10s in 53 starts overall, and highlighted by the American Crate Late Model Series Championship. And he started his season way back in mid-February in Abilene, earning second and 7th place finishes. Notched his first win at Marshalltown on April 14th, then doubled up at Rocket on May 27th. And this guy ran IMCA Stock Car and late models, like all year. The Abbeys, all of them, Weston and Dean, and certainly Jeffrey, their versatility and skills behind the wheel, I think, is second to none. It's probably one of the most gifted families, and certainly North Texas, maybe in all of Texas. I don't know if you would agree, Rodney, but the Abbeys are just phenomenal. I learned about him a few years ago, and I continued to be baffled by him. And when Jeffrey took over CRS exclusively last year, and the heights that he's taken that to now, what he's doing with CRS is just exceptional. That's what I'm talking about. Adding another layer of a man's impact. It could be a woman too. An individual's impact on the sport too. He does a lot for other guys and makes them go fast. And I think between his successful year, his ability to be interviewed, his speak, he's like a great ambassador for the sport and the racing industry, and what he contributes to it. He's the perfect recipient this year. So I will at this time again congratulate Mr. Jeffrey Abbey of Boyd, Texas, as our recipient for 2023 Texas Short Track Driver of the Year, presented by Revved Up Sports and Race on Texas. I just think he really had a fabulous year and is a very deserving individual.
And isn't it, Phil, with Abbey, with Jeffrey, I mean, it's one thing right there. I mean, you talk about that, whatever he dives into, I mean, he's always really great at what he does. But the other part is that he's, an ambassador to the sport. I mean, he sits here, he takes care of all the customers and everything that he's doing right there. I mean, I think it's phenomenal, the fact that he is as good as he is. I mean, both of them. I mean, like you said, both of those guys, man, that they sit there and they just take care of business each and every time they're on the racetrack.
They really do, buddy, and they never show up with an ill-prepared car, and they just, especially Jeffrey, he's dialed in when he gets there mentally and with the equipment, and from hot laps on, he's all business. I just thought of what I want to say about him. One of the final things I want to say about Jeffrey, it's the same thing I said right before I introduced Ricky Craven when he went into the New England Auto Racing Hall of Fame. Yep. Took all my glasses and I said, this man exudes class in everything he does. And it was just a little bit of ad-libbing, but I've always felt that way about Ricky, and I felt that way ever since I've heard of and watched and spoke with Jeffrey Abbey. It's that he exudes class in everything he does. He's no redneck dub, and he's just a polished businessman and a skilled racer. I shouldn't use that term, I'm sorry. But he's no unrefined guy, a refined guy and class act, and love the way he approaches the game and the business and the industry side of it, and have a tremendous respect for him and what he's done with CRS. But really looking at the numbers and his media skills and the criteria that we all do this year for this deal, I just think he's the ideal recipient, and I certainly appreciate the chance to recognize the man, Rodney.
No doubt.
Is he an Aggie still? Did he graduate from A&M? Did you get that far in talking to him, Phil? I know at one point he was going to A&M. I don't know if he ever ended up graduating or not.
He's paying for Jimbo getting out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know, right? But he's an educated man. I will tell you that. Whatever his specialty was, he took it to that in another category as well.
Yep. No doubt about it.
So, Phil, you knocked another one out of the park, dude. Really good recipient there. And he's good in everything he gets in. Like you said, the Crate Late Model Championship that he's got. But he ran really good in the stock cars for that sniper tour at the beginning of the year. So he's a shoe. Whatever he gets in, those cars are fast and those cars are ready to roll.
Man, they really are, Bobby. Couldn't agree more. He's versatile and fast and consistent. And that's what certainly some of the stuff that we look at and on the numbers standpoint, and he's got it going on. I just think he's part of that upper elite echelon of drivers down there, and I really will I'll put it in a list of a top 10 guys. I might formulate a top 10 list recapping the 2022 season. Since our season finales are getting watched out here on a weekly basis, I might maybe the overall yearly recap is going to happen sooner rather than later. And so maybe we can put together a top 10 performances of 2023 around the Texas short tracks, kind of a real thing, and do something like that. Because, man, we had all these killer, the big show season. Suddenly, Mother Nature doesn't like our big show season. I heard these boys saying how much it sucks to lose the Clash. And, boy, I do hope that shootout gets carried off. And I think there's just a couple more, too. It's outside of your reach maybe, but the granddaddy Ray Ingalls deal, they're doing a tribute to Ray Ingalls at Boot Hill. And I think Hunt County's got something going, too, like a Halloween gobbler, pass it around circle kind of party or something. But it's going to be cool. And I just hope some of these last ones get in because I still got a little more craving for it, as you've seen, Rodney, by my recent post.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Great job, Phil. Thank you once again for everything that you do. Congratulations, Jeffrey Abbey. Well-deserved right there. Texas Touring Driver of the Year. That is the man right there, Phil. Thank you for everything that you continue to provide for all of us here in Texas. And stay warm up there, dude. Bundle up, my man.
I will. I promise, gentlemen, I'll go and throw another log on the stove. We've been cranking that the last couple of weeks, as you can imagine. So I'll do that, guys. And with that, thank you both again so much for taking the opportunity for me and for getting behind the supporting of these drivers like that. I really believe they deserve the recognition. Appreciate, again, the opportunity. Enjoy the balance of your show.
Absolutely, my man. Take care, and we'll talk soon, buddy.
Okay, thank you now. Have a great evening, guys.
You bet. There he goes. That is the man, Phil Whipple. Speaking of Phil Whipple, before we dive in to the hotline once again, how about a word from the magical tones right there of Phil Whipple? Hear from Phil Whipple, but that's okay. We'll do that. We'll do that another time. Okay, we're diving back in, and this is going to be a real fun conversation right here. I've had the privilege this year to travel around and get to meet some really cool dudes. Different racetracks that I've gotten to head out to this year. Going to the hotline once again, and the real question that I always ask is when I'm thinking about this dude, I'm like, okay, where is Matt Prier this weekend? Because it's everywhere. It is Matt Prier checking in with us on the Revved Up Sports Show. Matt, where the hell are you, brother?
I'm actually home, believe it or not.
What in the hell?
I know, right?
Jeez Louise, man. How'd you wind up home?
Just a nice little quirk in the schedule. I'm in the middle of hockey season right now up here up north, and All my teams were on the road this past weekend, and I'm home until Wednesday, and then I head up to the Metro Detroit, Michigan area for the 2023 USPHL Detroit Showcase. 5 big days of hockey, 25 teams, over 50 games. Looking forward to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, see, I'm a Golden Knights guy, so
right.
that's my team, and I'm not just a bandwagon guy. Rodney will tell you I've been there from the beginning, the first puck drop down there in Vegas. But so you're at home now. Where were you the last couple of weeks? Talk about some of the different venues you were covering over the last couple of weeks.
Well, I'm during the hockey season. I am the voice of the Metro Jets, United States Premier Hockey League. It's one of it's the biggest junior hockey league in the country. They're based out of Mount Clemens, Michigan. I live in Westerville, Ohio, northeast suburb of Columbus. So it's about a 4-hour trip one way to get up there. I'm originally from Michigan. So I live down here with my wife, Jennifer. And every time I have a home hockey game, I get the privilege of traveling up to the Motown, Detroit area.
Nice. So Matt, let's talk about the racing stuff. I mean, you and I, we worked together at Mobile. We did that race, but man, you have done. I mean, you do stuff for PRN. I see, different Pit Row TV. I mean, just a lot of different things that you do all across the country. Talk about some of the different stuff that you do, man, because you are one jet-setting dude.
Well, you mentioned about the Performance Racing Network. Privileged to have made. It was a week after you and I worked together at Mobile. Privileged to have made my NASCAR Cup Series debut for PRN down at the Bristol Dirt Race at Bristol Motor Speedway. My goodness. SRL events, of course. Not only Mobile. I was down at Lebanon I-44 Speedway there in Lebanon, Missouri. The voice of the Midwest Modifieds Tour, which is for you guys down there in Texas. It's I guess the Modifieds of Mayhem will be the closest thing to you guys down there. It's very similar. Some subtle rule differences. They've actually had a couple races in the past together. I believe one was at Montgomery, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years back. The Hunt for the Bear, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
But yeah, Midwest Modifieds Tour. Up here is Outlaw Super Late Model Country, and describe that to you guys, what's similar, think of the SRL Sportsman Series on steroids. It's basically what it is. Outlaw bodies, 10-inch wide, slick tires, 850 horsepower, unlimited motors. They are the baddest of the bad on pavement. Privileged to have called some events for the Reveal the Hammer Outlaw Super Late Model Series, as well as the Owasso Speedway up in Oven, Michigan. If you're from Michigan, you'll see someone do this. That's the state of Michigan. Ovid is right above there.
There it is, right there. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot, man.
It's not the hand signal I saw on Game Day from Ohio State describing Michigan, but
yeah, it's tough being a Michigan fan here in Columbus, in the Columbus area. That's not. I don't get too much guff.
You're still winning, dude. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. And
that's right.
All that matters.
That's right. That's all that matters.
You missed the football talk earlier with all the sign stealing stuff up there. We got a $78 million buyout for a coach at A&M just down the street. So
I saw that today. That's a lot of that's a lot of money to pay someone to not coach your team.
A lot of farm money. That's a lot of farm money. No doubt.
So far, of all your events that you got to cover this year on the racing side of it, is there one event that has stuck out in your mind that you would call your personal race of the year type of moniker? If you get it, if there's more than one, then tell me there's been more than one.
Well, I mean, as a broadcaster like yourselves, nothing in my career. I'm completing my 34th year, and nothing beats getting to the top. That the Bristol Dirt Race was probably my favorite race. And you always hear about drivers and others, and fans describing how much different it is in a NASCAR Cup Series race. And I'm here to tell you it is. There's nothing that can prepare you for a Cup race. And it's just so different. But it was so much fun, so exhilarating at the same time. But on the short track side, 3 races stand out to me, actually. 2 of the biggest modified races in the country. The downright awesome modified race up at Birch Run Speedway up in Birch Run, Michigan, the richest paying modified race in the country, $21,000 to win for modifieds. Derek Griffin, originally from South Bend, Indiana, now lives in Pensacola, Florida, came up and took home the win. Along those lines, the Hot Shoe 100, which is held this year at Owasso Speedway. Blake Rowe won his third event. He has this unique knack of the Hot Shoe 100 has moved a couple different times, and each time the Hot Shoe has moved to a new facility, Blake Rowe has gone to Victory Lane. So, and that was his third, and the one very special event, and it kind of does my heart good. It was a real privilege to call. Was the Bob Finley Memorial. I'm actually wearing the hoodie right now here. The Bob Finley Memorial at Owasso Speedway. It was the Reveal the Hammer Outlaw Super Late Model Series finale. Blake Childers went to Victory Lane. 49 Outlaw Super Late Models were on hand for that race. Paid $20,067 to win. It was in honor of a legend up in the state of Michigan, Bob Finley, a member of the Michigan Motorsports Hall of Fame. His sons, Jeff and Doug Finley, both were my heroes growing up. Jeff Finley is a close personal friend of mine, and when he gave me the call, and he reached out to say, "Hey, I want you to call this race for the family." I mean, it brought tears to my eyes. I still get a little messed up thinking about it, But the Bob Finley Memorial probably stands out as a race that was really special to my heart.
Yeah. Matt, I would love your thoughts. I mean, just kind of watching all this. When we talk about super late models, you were kind of talking right there about the super late models there. We have SRL. I mean, you have the ASA stars and all of that. I would love your thoughts because yourself, that you've been tenured in this for so damn long, and you've seen all the different shifts, and you see everything that goes on right here. Kind of your thoughts on super late model racing across the country, because now that's the cool thing about it is you get the North guys that come down south, not so much the other way, but you get the guys from the left coast that come over. The Eastern guys are now a big part of this. Kind of your thoughts of this, to where it's a little bit of a batting heads war right here, but man, I'm kind of curious to see where this is all going to go in the next few years.
Well, I'm one of the distinct few that had the privilege of working for both at various points during the 2023 season. Was on pit road for the Red Bud 400 at Anderson Speedway. The car count was a little light, but the difference is there's things that SRL does exceptionally well, and that starts with Ricky Brooks.
Yeah.
When you're pulling into the pit area, you're going to get a fair shake. It's going to be even right across the board, from the top, from Bubba Pollard, Stephen Nassy, down to the local guy, trying to run up against these guys. SRL is on the right track. ASA Stars, they have some good ideas. However, it's hard to, how can I put this? It's hard to put that all together. And I'm trying to be as correct as I can.
Oh, no. I totally get it.
We can understand.
Yeah,
we understand.
Yeah. That's the hard part of walking that line.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's like, okay, I don't want to piss either one of them off.
No, I don't. I know, Ricky and Larry and Chris on the SRL side. I know Track Enterprise. I know Bob Sargent. I know Adam Mackey. Adam Mackey's been a close personal friend of mine for close to 30 years. I know Mark Gundrum, from Track Enterprises. He gave me my shot in the original ASA National Tour back in 1996. I was a 20-year-old punk kid, and he says, I need you to fill in for me for a few races. So I'm 20 years old, calling Bob Seneker, Mike Eddy, and Gary St. Amant when he was young, and all that. They're all good friends, But having said that, ASA Stars, there's things that they need to work on, and there's people in place there that probably shouldn't be there. It's hard to run a national professional tour when some of your people that you have working for you are amateurs.
Yeah. And Matt, isn't that part of the, I hate to say part of the problem, but isn't that one of the things that I really find out, or that I'm really starting to realize, is that when you've been regional, when you've been local, and then boom, man, I'm a national series. That's part of that growth right there, man. You got to upgrade some of that stuff. And that's not a slight at anybody that works in either one of those series, man. That's a growing pain right there, man. That's moving up to the big leagues right there.
One of my heroes in the broadcasting world, the announcing world, the late Mick Schuler, told me that he was a former longtime voice of the Kalamazoo Speedway. One of my heroes. And this is what he told me, and I've carried this with me ever since. I mean, I was 12, 13 years old. National tour people are national tour people for a reason. Regional tour people are regional tour people for a reason. Weekly people who run it, race, work, whatever the case may be at a weekly short track are weekly people for a reason. If you want to be a national tour, you need national professionals.
That's powerful. Yeah.
Wow. Now I got to come with something good to follow that. That's now y'all got me on the spot now. How do you follow up with that? No, but I think it's a good observation to have. I think ASA Stars realizes they had a few speed bumps in the road clearly over the course of the season. 9 or 10 guys running all the races, that could be a problem. But then again, that's fairly good for today's economy. Having a good 1/3 of your guys running the full tour. So I think there's that. But I just think that ASA Stars felt more growing pains, I feel like, than SRL did. Not even including that the issue. That's all I'll say. Nashville. The issue from Nashville, without stepping on any toes that I don't want to step on. But I think that issue at Nashville definitely put a black eye at the wrong point at the end of the season, because you had competitors and fans just up in arms about that. So I don't think that's the way anybody wanted to end the season. No. But I definitely feel that, I just, all I want to see in 2024, I just want to see them try harder to work together to make both series as successful as can be.
With the Nashville thing, just kind of put an exclamation point on what was, a trying season for ASA Stars. The foundation is there. There's no question about it. And I go back to mentioning, Bob Sargent, Adam Mackey, Mark Gundrum, Joe Bausch. The foundation is there. They all have national experience. They know what they're doing. Their vision is exemplary. It's just a matter of execution. And they put the right people in place to make them what they're striving to be. And ASA, and people will forget about 2023 with ASA Stars National Tour with all the issues that had happened. It's just a matter of putting those right people in the right places and executing.
Yeah, no doubt. Matt Prier with us, Revved Up Sports Show. Matt, just a very recognized voice and face across the country, doing different facets of motorsports and different sports and so forth. So, Matt, I do want to ask you as we dive into Snowball. That's coming up here in December or into November, into December there at Five Flags Speedway. It's kind of been my thought all year. Just between the SRL ASA thing. Just with everything you're happening there. Here's where everybody comes together. This is the big one. This is the Super Bowl right here. This is an opportunity for guys to make a lot of money. The entry list is really nice so far for the super late models. The damn pro late model one is even bigger. I really think that this year, going into the Derby, as big as it always is, Matt, I think that this year is really going to kind of set a table, Matt, for 2024 for just everything. SRL, ASA, Modifieds of Mayhem, you name it, dude. This one right here is going to be one big ass deal, even bigger than it usually is.
Yeah, I agree 100%. The Snowball Derby is always such a big, big event. All eyes are on the Snowball Derby. I've been privileged to be a part of 5 of them, and I kind of wish I was going a little bit, but I got a lot of hockey that weekend, so I'll be all right. But no, the Snowball Derby is the granddaddy of them all. I wish all them guys, especially Tim Bryan, Tim and Patty. I love them guys. I love them both. I do. Especially Tim. He's such a good man, and I wish them nothing but the very best. I hope to get back down to Five Flags Speedway soon. Unfortunately, I haven't been back since 2014, the last time I worked. So, wow. Yeah, I know. You guys have seen the movie Shawshank Redemption, right? The part where Morgan Freeman says he's institutionalized.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I feel about going to an event and I'm not working.
Yeah.
I become officialized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My wife tells me I'm the worst race fan in the world.
Oh my God.
Terrible. I'm just awful. And I have a hard time now watching a race not working. So it's my own punishment, I guess you can say, that I don't go to the snowball derby. I keep myself busy if I'm not working it. So, but I have 6 hockey games that week. I'll be fine.
Yeah, and Matt, isn't that the weird thing? I mean, when you're at a race event and you're not working, it's like, a lot of times, I mean, I'll find myself during a race week. I'm like, oh man, yeah, I got to do whatever. And then, it kind of goes away. I mean, as you get closer, but when you get to a racetrack and you're actually just a fan, it's like, holy shit. What am I doing? What do I do with my hands? I want to talk. I want to call the race. I don't know what to do when I'm not actually working at the racetrack.
It's so hard. And, I am my own worst critic. I'm the hardest person on myself first and foremost. But then I listen to other broadcasters, to other PA, and I think to myself, what would I have said in that situation? Or I hear a name mispronunciation, and that just drives me insane. I want to go up there and throw them off the balcony. I do. And hence that's why I'm a terrible race fan. I'm just awful at it, which is why I'm excited to go to the Bill Bigley Senior Memorial. I get to work one more race this weekend or this year.
Yeah.
You two are peas in a pod, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. Listening to you describe yourself, Matt, is like listening to Rodney coming off a race week and like, damn it, I said that, or I said this. I mispronounced that. Yeah,
Rodney and I had never met in person before Mobile. Yeah. And that was on April Fool's Day, funny enough. We had never met. And it's like I've known Rodney for 30 years. And I've told you that before. Yeah. It's like him and I have known each other for so long. And we're almost almost like the same guy. You're in Texas. I'm a Michigan guy living in Ohio. But
no doubt.
So, man, here's one. We ask all the announcer guys that come on this show. We're in this unique position now where you have this not on demand, but you have the video aspect of it with people on pay-per-view and streaming and stuff like that. And then you've got your live crowd that's in front of you that you feed off of and that you feel the energy from and all of that. We're kind of put in a unique position where we have to find a way to cater to both. In your mind, with your experience, can we? I mean, is it possible? I mean, if you give 50-50, it's like you need to give 100% to one and 100% to the other, because if you're 50-50, you may be half-assing it. I mean, what's your experience level tell you about that kind of situation?
You can do both. It's hard. And another great piece of advice I was given years ago, PA announcing is different than radio broadcasting, is different than television broadcasting. Mm-hmm. There are 3 totally different entities, if you will. I know a lot of like Flow Racing, for example, Racing America, Speed Sport, Pit Road. There are some events where you are both the TV broadcaster and the PA guy as well. And that can be hard. For example, nobody that's watching the TV broadcast cares what that 50-50 tickets are on sale. They just don't. They don't care. Yeah. And nobody in the PA cares about, Joe Bob's barbecue sauce is the sponsor of this. They don't care. And you just have to find that fine line between making both work. Majority of the broadcast, you are the TV and the PA. There are very, very few tracks that have separate broadcasts for PA as well as TV. Having said that, Berlin Raceway up in Michigan, they have done that for a couple of years now. I think they're finding out that it's not going the way they wanted it to. Yeah. So they may go back to the TV PA combination. Right. But yeah, it's a delicate balance for sure.
And then you get Tony Stevens in your ear. Matt's ready. Matt's ready. Go to Matt. Matt is ready. Go to Matt. Let's go to Matt. But
I love Tony, but he can be a bit intense.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. As a matter of fact, he's like, "You fucked that one up." I'm like, "Well, I'm trying." but
having said that, Tony has my love, man. I appreciate what he does. He is one of the hardest working men in the motorsports industry, and I think it's starting to pay off for him now.
It is. He is the man. Lastly, you mentioned it, that Bigley 128. That's your last event coming up, Freedom Factory. It is the weekend after Thanksgiving right there with the SRL National Series. And, man, I'm looking at that lineup, and that is a stacked field. Kind of your thoughts going into that one, man. That is going to be one hell of a way. And that's before the Derby. Kind of talk about that one, dude.
Yes, this weekend before the Snowball Derby, 46 entries as of right now, and as you said, it is stacked from top to bottom. I mean, Ty Majeski, the 2023 ASA Stars National Tour champion, is entered. Stephen Nassy just won the Governor's Cup here this past weekend. He's entered. Every former winner of the Bill Bigley Senior Memorial is entered. And you got Derek Griffith coming down from Hudson, New Hampshire, driving the Tim Curry FLF Race Cars house car is going to be down there. I mean, it is a stacked field. I tell you what. The 2 last chance races, I said 2 last chance races. Those are going to be features anywhere else in the country. And then, of course, there's the B main, the non-qualifiers race, which would be a stacked feature anywhere else.
Yes.
Looking forward to it. Privileged to be a part of the broadcast. You can watch it live on SRLRacing.tv, also on Pit Road TV. You gotta get it right. Tony's gonna yell at me. Pit Road TV via Speed Sport TV. And that's my last race of the season. And I do want to mention, since Phil Whipple mentioned it, the International 500 Snowmobile Race, the most grueling and prestigious snowmobile race in the world, is Sunday through Saturday, January 28th through February 3rd of 2024 up at the Sioux I-500 racetrack up in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Owasso Speedway proudly presents a great marketing partnership with Owasso Speedway. They're the proud title sponsor as well as the presenting sponsor. So imagine saying this all weekend. Owasso Speedway proudly presents the 55th run of the International 500 Snowmobile Race Week, powered by Wheeler Trucking.
That's a lot, man.
That's a mouthful.
That is a lot.
And I got to say it 196 times.
Well, man, you're good at what you do, my man. You just kind of rattle that stuff off, dude. I have no worries about you with anything that you're going to be saying, my man. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It really is. And people think I'm full of it when I say this, but it is my favorite race week of the season, even more so than cars. I mean, it's 38 snowmobiles going 500 laps on a 1 mile high bank ice oval. The race starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday, February 3rd, and it'll go to about 6 or 7 p.m. that night. And these snowmobiles, these guys are warriors. 130 mile an hour down the straightaways. And if you've seen the highlight of our 2023 race back in February, they were beating the hell out of each other on that last lap. And it's amazing they got down to that after 499 laps and over 7 hours of racing.
Wow. Ooh. Unbelievable. That's some good stuff. Matt, thanks for taking the time, dude. Love your work, man. Pleasure to meet you this year. Hey, off season, man. Get through that hockey. Let's do this more often, man. We can just kind of chew the fat and get ready for 2024 altogether.
Absolutely. Anytime you guys need me, just reach out. I appreciate it.
You got it, Matt Prier. Take care, my brother. Be good and have a great hockey season.
Thank you, brother.
You got it. There he goes. That's a bad son of a gun right there.
That's a mouthful he's got for that snowmobile.
I tell you,
he's a professional. He can handle it.
That guy right there, it was so cool to hang out with him. When we worked at Mobile, I mean, he comes walking up, and it was one of those things where we started talking, and it's like, holy moly, dude, you and I have a lot in common. So really cool right there. We'll definitely dive in and get him back on here. Hey, you guys stick around. We got Gilbert Pettis III is coming up. But first, we got to hear about some of the great folks that make Revved Up possible.
Hey racers, Phil Whipple here with the Revved Up Sports Show. For the past year, you've heard us talking about our partners over at Generation Race Cars. I'm proud to say they're back again this year, and they're off to a great start. Generation Race Cars, located in Springtown, Texas, continues to offer new chassis body combos all the way to turnkey sport mods and limited modifieds. All cars are built the same as you've seen in Victory Lane with drivers like Alex Hickam, Jeff Shepard, and Dean Abbey. All customers are valued and treated equally, so why not join the winning team? Justin Long is committed to giving each and every customer the time they deserve, along with a commitment to bring quality into every build. If you're ready to join the team, give the guys over at Generation Race Cars a call today at 817-528-2947. You put a lot into your racing program, so why not take it to victory lane with Team GRC?
Hashtag Real Race Talk. It's the Revved Up Sports Show talking local, regional, and national action. Here's Bobby Chaffee.
It's the crown jewel of American short track racing, the 56th Annual Snowball Derby, Sunday, December 3rd at Five Flags Speedway. For 56 years, Pensacola's Snowball Derby has showcased racing's modern-day legends and legends yet to be made in a 300-lap showdown of guts and glory. The most prestigious short track race in America, the 56th Annual Snowball Derby at Five Flags Speedway. For information, visit snowballderby.com. Legends start here.
Great conversation right there with Matt Freer. And right before that, we had Phil Whipple, Jeffrey Abbey, touring short track driver of the year, and very well deserved. I know we went right into Matt right there, but Abbey, that's a bad son of a gun right there, dude.
And everything that he does, I mean, he's got the resume to back it up. So we don't know the actual criteria that they use. I know it's a combination of everything.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a little bit of combination between on-track performance is obviously key.
Yes.
Winning percentage is key. And then, you're dealing with the media and some of your other stuff works out too. So.
Yep. All right, let's go back to the hotline. Final time tonight here on Revved Up. Diving in. Well, we were going to talk to this young dude. We were going to talk about Texana, but we kind of covered right there. If you missed it, the Clash has been canceled. Just, what a mess. What a mess over there in Edna. But, man, still excited to bring this young dude right here on to Revved Up. It is our man, Gilbert Pettis III. Gilbert, how you doing, my friend?
Yes, sir. I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Rodney?
Oh, man, doing well. So, man, I got to tell you, kind of sucks. So how does this change your plan? I mean, I'm assuming you guys are getting ready for Texana, but hell now, well, forget about all that.
Oh, yeah, we've been working on a new car lately. So the original plan was to move the new car out of the way and get the sport mod, pull it out and start getting it ready for Texana. But I seen this morning they canceled the races. So it looks like we're going to keep getting South Texas Speedway coming up in a few weeks.
No doubt about it.
So tell us about your what auto did you start racing first? I remember announcing you down in the E-Mods there at Texana, but was that your first ride or did you run go-karts? Tell us about how you got started.
Oh no, I've been racing go-karts since I was 6 years old. I started off, my sister started before me. And I used to be terrified of go-karts, believe it or not. When she would go race, I would go sit in her go-kart and make race car noises. And as soon as my dad went to go pull the pull starter to start it, I'd bolt out of there faster than anything. But one time my cousin went out there. We were like at a practice day at South Texas Speedway. It was like on a Sunday after the races.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin was out there, and he hopped in one of my sister's old go-karts. And I said, "Oh, heck no, you better get him out of there." And I got in there, and ever since then, I never looked back.
Oh man, yeah. Well, that's kind of the way the kind of the way that stuff works, man. So let's talk about it for you, man. One of the coolest things I think, I mean, and it's with all of us in racing. I mean, man, it's you and your family. You're kind of talking about that right there, but man, you and your family, you guys go out racing, and that's just really what it's all about for you guys.
Yeah, I'm a first generation, or me and my sister are first generation racers. My dad didn't race; he did a little bit of drag racing, so it's been a big learning curve for us. But I grew up around it. All my friends do racing. That's all I've ever known. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it.
So now you got me wondering, who is your sister? You keep referencing your sister. Who is your sister?
My sister is Amelia. She hasn't raced in a couple of years. So she used to race the E-Mod, hence is the reason why it used to be pink. But we stopped racing those. She raced an E-Mod at the time, and I raced a go-kart. And we stopped racing E-Mods to go race go-karts up north in the MWRS Winter Series.
Yeah.
And we kind of got washed out of doing that, so we started running more local stuff, and we got the E-Mod ready one day, and she kind of just never faded back into it. She kind of just stayed on the sidelines, but she knows she's always talking to me and my dad, always telling us that she wants a car. So one day we might have to put her a car together.
Oh yeah, gonna have to get her back out there, man. That's the way that stuff works. G3, as I like to call you, my man. Let's talk about, I mean, running, with limited modifieds and all of this stuff right there. You very, very young dude, very competitive dude out there winning races. Talk about the guys you race with, man. You ever look around and think, damn, I'm racing with so-and-so. I mean, it is a stacked field of folks that you race with each and every time you're out there.
Oh, definitely, no doubt. I remember going to the races all over South Texas, watching Lawrence Mecklenchek, Steven Whitaker, JJ Jennings, all of them guys, Shane Hofling, and then be lining up right next to those guys. It's like I got to pinch myself sometimes. Like, whoa, what? I get the opportunity to do this, but it's pretty crazy. I work with Marcus and Lawrence every day, so those Monday mornings after the races are always fun to go kick back and talk about, unwind a